Tennessee WildCast is live on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. Hey, we thank y'all tuning in and appreciate y'all listening. Today, we are in Jonesborough, Tennessee, on a farm here in the middle of nowhere. Isn't that right, Matt?
You know, and it's a good place to be.
Yeah, East Tennessee is a great place to be. We're in East Tennessee today, and I got Mr. Matt Cameron helping me co-host, and we're on a farm here in Jonesborough, Tennessee, Mr. Kim Wood's farm, and we appreciate the invitation to come out.
Thank you.
Kim, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well today.
Glad you're
doing fine.
Glad you're here with us, and thank you for having us.
Glad to have you with us.
And I also have Mr. Jeremiah Trowbridge
That's
with
correct.
us, and appreciate him being part of the show today. We got some cool stuff to talk about.
It's a neat program. You're going to enjoy this.
Yeah, East Tennessee Youth Outdoors Program, started by Mr. Kim Woods here, and we're going to learn all about that today right here on Tennessee WildCast. So we appreciate everybody tuning in, appreciate everybody listening. So first, I just want to introduce you guys to the audience here and learn a little bit about y'all. So, Kim, tell us about yourself. Did you always grow up here in East Tennessee? You a native to Tennessee?
I did. I grew right up here in East Tennessee, and most of the time over in Unicoi County, and migrated over to Washington County 20-some years ago, and have made this little farm my home for about the past 25 years.
Awesome. It's a pretty place. Driving in and rolling hills here, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Piece of God's country right out here.
Yeah.
A well-hidden secret.
Yeah. So, and Jeremiah, what you always been a part of East Tennessee? You live here all your life?
I have not. I grew up in Wisconsin.
Okay.
I actually was there till I was 18, and then moved down here to spend a summer with my sister, and I fell in love with the mountains, the people, and my wife, of course, and ended up, hey, I'm staying.
Yeah, make sure you get that in there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's cool. Well, today we're gonna cover. Talk about the East Tennessee Youth Outdoors Program, something that Mr. Kim Woods here started, and learn about that. But first, let's just hear a little bit about background about yourself. Did you grow up hunting, Kim? Did you grow up in the outdoors? And
Yes, sir, I did. I grew up hunting from day one. I had an uncle who introduced me to hunting at an early age, and I had a grandfather who had a farm, and they always prepared everything to where I could enjoy myself to hunt and fish, and I've kept it in my life all my life, and that's why we do the East Tennessee Youth Outdoors thing, is so we can pass it on.
pass it on, yeah. So who was your main influence in the outdoors?
It would be my uncle, Larry Murphy, who I can remember when he used to take me and give me a gun that he knew would knock me down, and I would shoot it.
That's awesome.
And they would laugh.
Glad you didn't get gun shy.
But it was fun. No, I didn't get gun shy.
Oh, yeah.
It was all fun.
That's awesome. And Jeremy, did you grow up in the woods, outdoors?
Well, I grew up in a rural area, country. Unfortunately, my parents or my dad didn't hunt, but living in Wisconsin, I mean, it's deer hunting all the way. I mean, come deer season, that's when everybody takes their vacation, and so I was always like intrigued. And when I got old enough, I had friends and family, that let me borrow stuff, and I learned the hard way. I've seen a lot of white flags running from me most of the time in the woods.
I think a lot of us have seen that.
Yeah. But just fishing. I remember as a kid, riding my bike down to the local creeks and dragging trout home on a stringer because I wasn't sure how to carry them.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always been in the outdoors, but really it was an interest to me, and so I spent my time, learning what I could on my own.
Cool, awesome.
That's neat. Two neat perspectives. One that family got into it, kind of handed it down, and then he had to get into it kind of on his own through his friends. So we're always looking for a way to recruit new outdoorsmen and outdoors women.
Yeah.
So we like to hear those stories.
And this program that we're going to talk about today is been a big instrumental part in recruiting and introducing kids to the outdoors and getting them introduced to hunting and fishing and that kind of stuff. So tell us about the program, Kim. Tell us how it got started and whose brainchild this was and why we do it.
It's about 11 years ago, I was eating at a local restaurant over here. There was a gentleman sitting there, and we were talking about hunting and fishing, and he was telling me that he participated with a group that took youth hunting and fishing and things like that. Mm-hmm. And he had always been involved in something like that, and he would like to get something like that started. And I told him, I said, well, if you know some things about how to do it, and it sounds like you do, I'll be glad to help you, But we were talking about deer hunting. He was a UPS driver. He drove all over this area. He knew that there was turkeys everywhere. So about 30 minutes later, he called me and he said, why don't we do a turkey hunt? So that's how this got started. In the first year, after we done some planning, we had to beg to get I think it was 11 young people to come here and go hunting. Mm-hmm. And we had a good hunting day as far as events for them. It was planned from the beginning as far as activities for them to do when they wasn't hunting.
Right.
And while they were here, there was all kinds of things for them to do. We presented them with gift bags, things like that. And over the years, that has grown into one of the biggest blessings of my life, besides my family. Mm-hmm. This has grown into the biggest blessing. And, just like they were saying last week we had the event, and there was 100 youth up here. And it's just a great honor to be able to have these youth come here and have such a good time. And like I was telling you before, we've put this on for 11 years. Mm-hmm. This was the 11th year. And in that 11 years, we have had not one single complaint. And when you're dealing with the kids of parents and grandparents, that is a true blessing. Mm-hmm. I mean, that usually does not happen.
It shows that y'all are doing something right.
It shows that we're doing something right, and the youth are enjoying it. And it's not only it's not really about hunting. It's about teaching these young people what nature is and who made nature, mm-hmm. and what they can learn from just being in nature. And after doing this for as many years as I have, I can see that happening. In the first year or two, I couldn't really see it. But after it happened for so many years, then you see the results of it showing up in these young people's life. For instance, I can go to places, and I've told this story several times, but it sticks out in me. I go somewhere to a store, anywhere, and this young person, he's looking at me, and I know you. And I'm looking at him like, well, I know you too, And then all of a sudden, they pull out their cell phone, and they say, I know who you are. Look here. And they start showing me the pictures of deer, turkeys, things that they have harvested. And I look at them, and I say, that's really nice. And then I get this on them. I say, where do you go to church at? They a lot of them respond in the right way, but no matter how they respond, what we're instilling in them will show up in later years of their life.
Definitely,
and that's what we're trying to do. And I can see that being successful every year, mm-hmm. every year, and that's why we do it.
That's amazing. That's awesome, Jeremiah. What made you want to be a part of this?
Oh, actually, Kim got me into it. A company I was working for had done work for Kim in the past, and we met that way through work, and he was like, hey, do you have kids? And I was like, yeah, I've got 3. And he's like, we've got an event I want you to check out. And of course, being a hunter, and I'd only turkey hunted 1 year prior to that, and so I got signed up and just took part in an event just like anybody else that comes for the first time, and was blown away. Just couldn't believe that there was something like this for kids. Mm-hmm. And after that year, I was like, Kim, anything I can do to help out. And, next year, just started attending our committee meetings and seeing how things, were put together, how he handled things. And then every year got more and more involved, and thanks to Kim, he's turned a lot of the responsibility, which he started, over to myself and Brandon, who you'll meet here in just a little bit. And God's just blessed us. And we were talking. Sometimes you plan so hard and you get stressed out and you think, oh, is this going to happen? And then afterwards you start receiving thank yous and emails, and it's just like, this is why we do what we do. It's showing kids, hey, there's more to life than maybe video games, or hey, there's a community of hunters that are just great people. Sometimes hunters get a bad rap, but people come here and they're like, oh, well, I thought hunters were this, and I met some really great guys, and they showed me some really cool things, and that's what we're trying to do. So
yeah, to me, the physical gathering of it is so important.
Yes,
I'm sure growing up for you and part of my generation, you had to take your deer or turkey to a checking station, check it.
Correct.
Now you get on your smartphone and do it right there. So we're losing that personal communication aspect of hunting. So by bringing all these people together, like-minded individuals, there's just great stories that are shared. It's just great camaraderie.
Yes, exactly.
Well, when they're all here, you can see people, they'll go off into different ways. And if you walk by and listen, they're all telling a hunting story, most of them, and that is, that's what hunters do. I mean, they tell stories.
Yeah,
some true, and some maybe stretched a little bit.
Some maybe.
The fisherman's the one that tell the stories, right?
Yeah. Yes, buddy.
You've seen an increase in the number of people who've, come into this event. You said you started out with 11 or so kids, and now
11.
It's growing. What have you seen the turkey population in the area? Is it growing on your property here? And
the turkey population is like every place else. It's kind of declining. And for whatever reason, I'm fine with it, because I can tell you this: when I first moved out here, you couldn't see a turkey.
Yeah, well, it's increased since you moved into the area, or lived, through the years you've seen it grow. But
right, thanks to the TWRA and their restoration program, I can truly tell you it worked. And then over the years, I was blessed to be able to hunt right out of my backyard, and I seen this, probably being a hunter for all my life. I seen that 10, 15 years ago, if I didn't have a place, you wasn't going to have a place to hunt, because there wasn't a lot of people that would allow you to hunt over the years. But the turkey population was restored here by TWRA, and they did a great job. And and it's dwindling a little bit now, but I'm sure that everything will be just fine with them at the helm.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate all you do for these kids and the families that this affects. It's not only the kids you're impacting, but the mom and dad, or maybe the kid that doesn't have a mom or a dad. It's amazing what y'all are doing here. And
some of the things that I've heard, I can remember. I told y'all this story this morning. I can remember a grandfather who brought his grandson to this event for, I think it was 4 years, and they hunted successfully once or twice, and then they come back one time, and they told me, the grandfather did, he come up to me and he said, "Now I want you to know something, Mr. Woods." He said, "I want to thank you, because not only have you made a hunter out of my grandson, but you've made a hunter out of me." And they had actually had no interest whatsoever in hunting. It's just that they were trying to get from sports into something else. And get his grandson interested in that, and it worked.
And I'll just add to that, it's not just the families. A lot of our guides, these guys are, been hunters most of their life. We'll invite them and say, hey, would you take a kid hunting? And some are reluctant at first, but just one time they come and they take a kid, and we've, had someone this year go, you know what? Why did I wait so long? It's introducing kids into God's great outdoors. That's sort of, what we use. And so even the guides who have hunted their whole life, to be able to take kids and to see, them learn, and you can see the excitement in them that sometimes, we all get excited when we hunt, but that first real excitement you have in the woods, and that gobbler or that deer, this year we had a bear come through and someone got to see it. So,
wow.
They get to go back to school and say, "Guess what I seen this weekend? It wasn't Fortnite. No, it was a bear, a real live bear."
Yeah.
So it's good all around for everybody, and it's really great.
That's awesome.
I could lift up on his bear story. One year I was introducing the kids, and giving them the speech before they go hunting. And I told them, I said, now in the morning, y'all are going to get to see something that you've never seen before in your life. And, you know, I could see this one little boy, he turned frightened. And he looked up at me and he said, are we going to see a bear? And I said, no, you're going to see the sun come up.
I say a lot of these kids hadn't seen it.
And he come back and he told me, he said, you were right. I had never seen it before, but I'll never forget it.
That's awesome.
And that was unbelievable.
Well, tell me how you make this work when you have that many kids showing up. They all have to have a place to go hunting, and you want them to be successful. How do you get them in position where they can go maybe have a chance of taking a turkey?
That's the benefit of having a community like we live in that are you can ask these people around here, and I know every one of them. I go to church locally. I say I know every one of them. I know enough people to solicit probably 25 or 30 places that you can take a young person. Now, you can't go back there and hunt yourself, and they'll let you know that. And I understand that. But when you tell them there's a youth involved, there's no problem.
Changes the whole game.
It changes the whole game, you know. And there's people that we hunt on right now, or this year, that we hunted on the first year. And they get a bigger blessing as we do. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times after we take all of our pictures and they come in, I'll match the turkey hunter and the turkey that was successful, and I'll send that landowner a picture. And there's always a good comment comes back to me. So to answer your question is the community that we live in is the one that supports places for these hunters to hunt.
So you're talking dozens or just lots and lots of people to make this whole thing happen, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
there's no, you know, you got to have 35 or 40 places that you can put people that do not have places to hunt. A lot of young people come with a father, an uncle, a papa, or family land that they can go hunt on. And they come and enjoy our activities and join in. Then they go off hunting. But you still got to have enough guides for those people who have no place to hunt and property for them. And over the years, we've not had a problem with that. We sometimes you have to stir up some guides, but we've always had enough to make it work.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, if y'all don't have anything else you want to add, maybe you do. But if you do, we can. But we want to try to get Brandon in here and Freddie.
Mm-hmm.
So anything you want to add before we bring them in?
I appreciate you guys coming down and doing this broadcast, WildCast with us. It's about getting our name out there. I announced it on Saturday night at our banquet. You know, our hope, or my hope, and I think it's Brandon's and Kim, is there will be other people, other adults who will have an interest in doing this and maybe set up, you know, some satellite, you know, or their own, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd be more than happy to go and help them put their meetings together, get them started. You know, we just don't want to do it just for us. It's, you know, getting kids in the outdoors. And so, you know, if anybody contacts us and says, hey, I'd like to do this, we'd be more than happy to help them set up, you know, something in their area.
And what's an email address or a website they can go to?
So it's EastTennesseeYouthOutdoors.com.
Okay.
And you can find all the information there. Brandon's email and phone number's there. My email and phone number's there. And you contact either one of us, you know, through that. We got Facebook and Instagram, so you can follow on all those.
Cool.
But yeah, it's EastTennesseeYouthOutdoors.com.
Awesome. Well, we'll reiterate that again and announce that again before we close the show out. But yeah, if y'all want to be a part of that, that's a great way to do that. So
I've got one more thing to add to what Brandon just said. Recently, I had a brother who became a commissioner, and he and I has already discussed some of the things that Brandon talked about, satellite programs throughout the state, throughout the area. He is the commissioner for this region, and hopefully we can get other excitement generated in other counties and other areas around here.
And I think people have to remember, you start small and you grow it. You don't have to do a 100-kid event like y'all got going. It took a decade or better to get it to this point, right?
Yes.
So don't be afraid to start small.
Exactly.
And grow it.
awesome. That's some great information. Great. It's just awesome what y'all are doing. So, well, let's transition and bring on Freddie and Brandon, and we'll chat about what their involvement is. they've both, I think, grown up in the outdoors and been around hunting and fishing and all that kind of stuff. And Brandon's got some numbers for us so we can chat about that. And I got some pictures I want to show, and we'll transition through some of those while we're talking. But let's start off with Brandon. Meet Brandon. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I grew up, just right over the hill here. So
Hometown boy.
Hometown, yep. Grew up hunting. I was, very blessed to have my father. He's the one that got me involved with East Tennessee Youth Outdoors. He's the one that got me started hunting. And, through this, I've realized, I've been reminded that not everybody has that. So this is a great thing for those kids.
Great way to pass it on and be a part of this.
Absolutely.
So were you part of one of the first events? Is that how? Were you young enough to be a part of one of those hunts?
I was actually too old. I was, I think, 18.
Gotcha.
So, but I started guiding kids when I was 21. So
cool. Awesome.
And what are the ages for this program? I don't think we've even mentioned that.
6 to 16.
16. Okay. Just like our youth turkey season, you got to fall within that range because you do it on youth turkey hunt weekend
right, exactly.
in Tennessee,
right.
Correct? Has it been like that from the get-go?
Yes.
Yep.
So you started out guiding and lived in the area, but your dad got you into hunting.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So Freddie, tell us about yourself a little bit. You've
lived here all my life. Yeah,
okay.
I've been here 63 years. My daddy introduced me to hunting. We had squirrels and rabbits and a few quail. We didn't have any turkey or any deer or anything like that. But anytime we had a chance, we were in the woods.
In the woods.
Our
I'm sure you got some
Thanksgiving
stories.
tradition was to rabbit hunt all day long. So
Yeah.
that's just things we did. And
Awesome.
I've been in the outdoors since.
So what's your involvement been with the East Tennessee Youth Outdoors?
Well, I'm president of the North Cherokee chapter of the NWTF, and we're save the habitat, save the hunt. The guys in Edgefield can save the habitat. We're saving the hunt. And,
yeah.
Trying to take care of our kids, and since I've been president, we've been kid oriented, and we give all the kids a Jake membership at our banquets and at this anytime they want them, and we pay for it as a committee. And anything we can do for children, that's what we do. So.
Awesome.
The NWTF's been instrumental in helping us, over the years. They've been really great. One of our key sponsors. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to show some pictures here while you're chatting. You said you had some numbers of this past weekend. I want to highlight this weekend and talk about how great it was, the success that y'all had. We already mentioned a little bit about how it's grown, but tell us about the weekend. I'm going to slide through some pictures here while we chat about some of that.
Yeah, we have an online registration, and so that's where you'll go. Jeremiah mentioned the website earlier. We had 98 youth signed up this year, and even with some cancellations, we probably had about 85 hunters, and of those, 15 killed birds this year, and some of the largest birds that we've ever scored. We score them. One of the things we do is we have a local taxidermist that gives a free turkey mount to the highest scoring bird. So,
oh, wow, that's awesome.
Who is that?
It's Bigfoot's taxidermy.
Bigfoot's, okay.
And so, we mentioned earlier that you got to have somewhere for them to go and somebody to take them. Mm-hmm. So we had 43 hunting locations that we provided and 37 guides. So some of them would come with parents or grandparents, but for the ones that couldn't or didn't know anything about hunting, we were able to provide that, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
So do they meet up here on Friday evening?
So yeah,
So tell us how the whole thing kind of works, if you don't care.
Sure. Friday evening we'll meet here for pizza dinner, and we'll have a shotgun shoot competition, divide into age groups, and then we'll have a turkey calling contest, and the winner of each of those gets some great prizes. We have a lot of local sponsors, a lot of great sponsors that donate money, prizes, their services. So we're able to give away tons of door prizes. And then Saturday morning, obviously, we'll meet here for breakfast and take them out for the hunt. Then we'll come in around lunchtime and have Arrow Ministries. That's really cool. You can go on the website and read more about that, see some great pictures of all that.
So what Arrow Ministries, explain that a little bit. Is that archery, I guess?
Yep. So
okay.
I don't know if you're showing the pictures now, but
yeah, I think there it is.
So this guy comes in, Robbie comes in and talks about, he relates archery to usually a Bible message. It's very interactive, hands-on, always has lots of fun targets, flying targets to shoot at.
Oh, cool.
It's very, very good stuff. And so that's at lunchtime on Saturday. The ones that were unsuccessful that morning will go back out for the hunt, and then we'll have a dinner, like a banquet that night, and have tons of giveaways, door prizes, and all that stuff.
That's awesome. So, Freddie, tell us about your involvement at the hunt. What have you been?
When I first started, I used to be the weighmaster, and we got a new weigh. I get to weigh and score the birds and everything, and then I sort of graduated up. I wanted to go hunting, so I couldn't stand it.
So now you got them?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I've got a little guy that I take. He's adopted. He don't know his mother and father, and we hunt a lot together. So he was successful Saturday morning. And I came in, and there was a lady here from Powell who took her child to Edgefield. She'd been to Memphis. Spent 2 years trying to get him a turkey.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked me into taking him. And she wanted to go, too, being on his first turkey. So we went and saw the bear and
so
got a turkey. And
wow.
Oh, they
what a big day.
They absolutely went wild. And then we went back on Sunday morning and got another turkey. So, and, that was a thought was going through my mind. We have a lot of kids that don't have fathers that come to this hunt, and we get to mentor them and we get to take them hunting, and it's wonderful. It's just wonderful. And we have several committee members from the North Cherokee that come down and help, and we just love it.
That's great.
And, Kim was gracious enough. We've been friends forever to let me sort of just meld into this, and get to be a part of it, and get the NWTF helping, and we all have a great time. And, the two committees are just sort of melding together, and they're helping us, and we're helping them. And
that's great.
And we're just all out to help the kids. That's what it's all about. We're trying to help our hunt.
Yeah. Well, anything else you want to add before I read a little bit of something here?
Yeah, I just appreciate y'all coming out.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks for having us here.
Yeah, we appreciate
Thanks to the TWRA and thanks to the NWTF.
Yeah, TWRA was involved a little bit. We had an officer here. I had a picture, but I forgot to show it. But anyway, that's awesome. We're just glad we can help out anyway. So
Promote the program and tell us again how they can find out more about East Tennessee Youth Outdoors.
Then go to the website or Facebook page. The website's EastTennesseeYouthOutdoors.com.
Okay, awesome.
Excellent.
I'm going to try to read a little bit of this story before we run out of time. This is a letter that was sent in by a single mom who her kids participated. But I am so thankful beyond words for the men who gave their time to teach my children and lead by example of what a man is. Every encounter we had while we were there was inspiration to both my boys. As a single mom, I can't thank you enough for that. My children learned something new and enjoyed the whole experience. You've touched their lives as much as two teen boys. They usually don't speak out, but they can't stop talking about it. The joy and happiness that comes from these enthusiastic talks, I'm forever in debt to you. So that's just a little highlight of what this program's doing for these kids. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate what y'all do. And we appreciate y'all tuning in to Tennessee WildCast, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee WildCast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.